Welcome to another Birdie Train podcast. It's Players Week, so we just thought we'd go through the odds and first of all have a little recap of the Arnold Palmer last week, where Bryson came out victorious over the old vet Lee Westwood. Good. I thought it was a great weekend of golf, to be honest. I thought the one thing that I thought, which I didn't think it would have that much of an impact, was fans and how much of a difference that made to just the general viewing experience. So I thought that was great. They obviously don't care about COVID in Florida. I don't know if they've got fans this week, but I hope they do. But yeah, Bryson, probably worthy winner, played best tee to green in the field. Well, him and Lee played best tee to green. And just hold more putts on Sunday. Classic Lee Westwood Sunday, really. Any thoughts, Kev?
Yeah, I mean, I've got to think Westwood. I mean, I'm not a bit Lee Westwood's biggest fan, but he didn't back down, which is strange to see of Westwood. So I think he deserves quite a bit of credit for what he did on Sunday. I assumed him going to lead one clear of Bryson. I thought Bryson was going to sort of take him apart and probably run away with it, but he stuck with him even when Bryson hit the front and kept with him, and probably had he not gone in the divot down 18, might have made it a little bit closer on the last. But no, I think Bryson overall the whole week he was fairly in control of the whole golf tournament. I think Rory and Victor probably had the biggest chances of competing, and they blew away on Saturday really. And then Bryson was probably the only winner come Sunday, I think, after when it was all said and done.
Yeah, Lee. It was a classic Lee like Sunday. He played better than Bryson on Sunday, if we're being honest. He just didn't hold enough putts.
I don't think it was. I think he held his fair share. Did you think that? Well, I can't remember what hole it was. Is it 15?
16 was the one. 15, yeah, he held a long one on 15. But that was really, I mean, he held a long one on 15 and then he held a long one on the par 5 for birdie, I think.
Yeah. Was
it 12? 12.
Yeah, he three putted the par 5, I think, straight after it as well.
What? Which hole?
I can't remember what hole it was. It was straight, like, he went joint leader.
The par 3.
And he left his like 50 putt short, about 10 foot. So yeah, I mean, It's, you know what you're going to get from Westwood at the end of the day. But I was surprised he stuck with him as far as he did, and I think he's 80-1 this week, and not a bad bet. I'm sure there'll be a few Englishmen. I know one for sure will be on. Yeah,
I feel like it's his sort of golf course as well. All about the approach play, really. But yeah, in terms of the divot, I don't know why you can't just move it. I mean, I think that the worry is that it might slow down play a bit, and it might become a bit tactical, like what's a divot and what's not a divot. But if you're in a divot, just move it like less, like a putter head's length, so it can't become tactical. You just literally have to move it out the divot.
Patrick Reed might be looking.
Yeah, but I think you should just play preferred lies in the fairway anyway.
Yeah.
Like if you're in the fairway, just give yourself the lie that you want, and you can only move it like no more than a foot.
Yeah, it's not fair. It's not fair, especially when he smashed one down the last and put himself. He'd probably rather be in the rough than have that life. So yeah. But that's enough talking about Lee Westwood.
But yeah, fair play, Bryson. And the drive on 6 is just class. It's just class. What Bryson is doing for the game is just. I feel like he's turning people's heads now. When he first came out, probably just at the start of restart, everyone was saying, "Oh, he's not going to be able to play like this," etc. And now even the biggest dinosaurs are sort of, turning around and saying, "Fair play, Bryson."
It just amazed me. He won last week, and I couldn't believe the amount of time. You would have thought the guy had never won before, and he's literally the reigning US Open champion. And there's people still going, "Oh, what's he doing? It's not working." I could be wrong, but I think other than DJ, he's won more since the restart last year than anyone else other than DJ. I don't know. That could be wrong.
Yeah, no, I think that's Morikawa. Him and Morikawa.
Other than DJ, have won. What he's doing works. He probably right now in terms of results, he's certainly a better player than Rory and all these other players that are top of the game, he wins more than them. When he's in contention, he very rarely doesn't win. Really, I can't remember many times he's up there come Sunday and blows away. If I'm wrong.
Would you like to say anything about the Sky Sports commentary?
I think the less said about it, the better. If I'm honest, I think they all jumped on it on the last sort of 5 holes when it looked like he was going to win, but all week it was a bit embarrassing. Some of the commentary, if I'm honest.
Fair enough.
Wasn't impressive.
No, not popular in your household. Okay, Players Championship, one of the best tournaments of the year. Quality field. Pretty much everyone's playing, apart from obviously Tiger. Kev is just
a great man.
The great man, yeah, there he is. Best wishes with Tiger. So yeah, we have everyone's playing apart from him. Brooks has pulled out. I think he's done his knee again, which I don't know how long he'll be out for, but he was looking good. Like, he was starting to play well again, so he was going to be.
I was thinking the Masters for him, but I'm not sure now. Not if he's injured himself again. That took him a while to come back from that, but
yeah.
Is it his knee or neck? Because I know his neck was marking up the week before.
Oh really? I thought it was his knee.
Saturday. Well, I think it was his knee, but his neck was playing up as well the week when he was leading when Morikawa won. So, interested to see what that is. I think if it's his neck, it's not too much of an issue. If it's the knee again, that took him over a year to come back from. So,
it's his knee, but I think it's a different knee.
Well, hopefully he's coming back into form, which is always good to see. I like him, as you know.
Yeah, and he's been playing class as well, as you said. Yeah, I think he strained his other knee. Yeah. Okay, so we will just go through most of the probably like the top 20 players. I'd say there's a lot of players sort of in the 20 to 60 range this week who are quality players. Yeah, I mean, Adam Scott's max price 66 to 1, so you could even go past that. So yeah, we'll just go through them, say more about some people who we think are worth talking about a bit more than others. But yeah, we may as well start with the best player in the world, Dustin Johnson. Best price 12 to 1 now on 365 and William Hill. So you probably get a boost on William Hill as well to maybe take that up to 13 or 14, which feels like, I mean, that feels like getting to a stage where that is a very good price on Dustin, despite a pretty awful performance in his last outing. But yeah, I'd still consider him as by far and away the best player in the world. I
don't know how he's 12 to 1, if I'm honest. Like, what was he last week or the couple of weeks before? Slightly, I mean, they were slightly weaker fields. They weren't by any means poor fields. He was, what was he, 6 to 1, 11 to 2 before the tournament started. I think maybe 13 to 2, something like that. And he's nearly double the price. And if DJ turns up, it doesn't really matter who else is playing. And if DJ putts, he'll win. It's as simple as that. And 12 to 1, you know, if he's leading after round 1 or whatever, that price it'll probably be 6 to 4 or something like that. So I think DJ at that price, you have to back it. It's obviously not, you know, a massive tip because he is favourite and he's best player in the world, but at 12 to 1, that's a bit of a ludicrous price. But I think you pointed out the other day that you look at some of the people that have won here, it's not often favourites that do win. You know, I think, you know, Rory won here last time they played a full event, so that's one, but you know, it's not very often in recent memory that I can remember, you know, the top players in the world at the time winning. I don't know if I could be wrong there, but I think Ricky, when he won, wasn't in great form. Webb certainly wasn't in great form when he won it. Then you see some of the Tim Clark, KJ Choi, Siwoo Kim,
Kuchar, Kayma.
Yeah, you know, they're not world class players. You know, a few major champions in there, but yeah, but I do think the game is in a very different place to what it was sort of 2-3 years ago. I think the top players in the world now are are by far and away, better, and the top players in the world do tend to win week in, week out now because there are so many of them, really. So I think probably from read up in the betting, I think that's probably where your win is going to come from.
Yeah, I've just had a quick look at DJ's stats, and his putting at the WGC was the worst in the field. He lost 10 strokes on the green, like for the week. His and all throughout the last, since the turn of the year, so actually this year, his approach play has been hit the best part of his game, and actually his chipping has been really good as well. His driving, apart from in Europe at the Saudi where he won, hasn't been, amazing. So at a course where maybe there's not so much put on how far you hit it, and then maybe that's not such a problem. So yeah, DJ at 12, 13 or 14 to 1, if you can get him at that, feels like a big price if he can turn the putting around this week, which I wouldn't be surprised if he did.
The thing is as well with DJ, I don't really look at his form ever, if I'm honest, because I think he showed when he came back from lockdown, he shot 8 over or something at that Rocket Mortgage, I think it was. He put it in sort of the water twice, missed the cut before. I think he missed nearly 3 cuts in a row. Then he turned up at the Players and turned up at the Travellers, and won just out of nowhere, and he won by quite a distance, and then was leading the US Open, and then won the Masters. So he's one of those players. I think there's 2 players in the world that form goes out the window with them, and it's DJ and Brooks. They do just win out of nowhere, out of the top players in the world. A lot of the others do play themselves into form and win.
Patrick Reed, actually, you just mentioned. Reed's one of them. He's just coming off a miscut, and he just won off a miscut at Torrey Pines.
Yeah, definitely. He's definitely someone I'd be interested in. But yeah, DJ 12 to 1, no question. That's a very good bet, very good price as well.
The only thing that I would say, just to finish off on DJ, is that his form in Florida isn't the best. And I think there is, like, Florida courses there's lots of water, so there's lots of trouble, and there's generally a bit of wind. So there is something to them.
5th here last time out.
His form has got better and better as he's played more of the players. That is true.
Different player than what he was 2-3 years ago as well. He's the best player in the world now by a mile, and he was one of the best then, but now I think he's head and shoulders above the rest of them.
Yeah, just playing devil's advocate, Kev.
I'm not having it.
All right. Rory and Rahm and Bryson, you can all get 16 to 1. Who would be, out of those 3, would be your favourite to back at that price?
I think probably Rahm. I think at 16 to 1. I think he is probably the better player out of the 3 of them. Rory, though, he's playing well and he's putting well. So it's a bit of sitting on the fence there. But I'd be more inclined to back Rahm just because he wins more, really. So yeah, probably Rahm, but I think Rory at 16 to 1. He's a pretty good bet the way he's been playing. He bottled it again last week, which he does always do. But yeah, he clearly likes it. The Players won a defending champions theoretically, so 16 to 1's a pretty fair price. I think there's a lot of good prices at the top of the market. There's a lot of big numbers up there for a lot of quality players.
I would agree. I'd probably order them. I think last week's win might have taken quite a lot out of Bryson. I think, there was fans there. There were fans there, which is.
He's done it before.
Yeah, yeah, I think this week he might.
I don't think his course suits him there.
Yeah, I don't think he'll be able to use his distance as well as he could last week. And his iron game is approach play is the key stat, and his irons still aren't as good as you liked of Rahm, DJ, Rory, and others at the top of the market. So I would probably avoid Bryson at the same price as Rahm and Rory. Out of Rahm and Rory, I'd probably agree. I'd go Rahm. I think he's also due a win. He hasn't won since the BMW, and he has still been playing pretty well. He's been, if I just look at his form quickly now.
It's the putter from not looking at the stats, just kind of watching him. He just keeps missing putts, and that was one of the best parts of his game. He's obviously changed the colourway in the off season.
Yeah.
He doesn't look comfortable with the putter. So if he sorted that out, he's had a little break, then yeah, definitely could be a good bet. I think tee to green, he's still been looking quite good. It's just he's not been rolling them in.
Since he won the BMW, where he beat DJ in the playoff, actually, he has had 6 or 7 top 10s in around 10 events. He's only, and those other 3 or 4 events, he's only been 13th, 17th, 23rd, and 32nd. So he's been playing probably as good as anyone, and maybe going slightly under the radar, to be honest. So if you could get him maybe when the event starts at 18 to 1, something like that, I think that would be a pretty good bet as well.
Definitely.
Okay. Next range we have Thomas, Cantley, Morikawa, Schauffele, and Webb. I've backed Thomas at 20 to 1, purely because he plays well in Florida, or he plays well on Pete Dye courses. He played well at the Arnold Palmer, not the Arnold Palmer. He played well at Waste Management, then had a bad week, and then the WGC he had a crap first round, but then came back and then finished, I think, tied for 12th or 13th. Approach play is the best part of his game. Probably only Morikawa is better with their irons. He's good long irons off the tee. And his chipping's one of the best on tour as well. So the 2 main categories, I think he fits the bill here for Sawgrass, and I've backed Thomas at 20 to 1.
Yeah, it's obviously a very good price on Thomas when he's on it. He's one of the best players in the world. I just feel there's too much going on in his world right now. He even came out today and said, I think he said after his stupid, the comment that was picked up on the microphone on, I think it was in Hawaii, where he said a homophobic serb stupidly, and he said that's been playing in his mind in the last few rounds. And then he's obviously very good friends with Tiger. Everything going on with him. His granddad just passed away. I just think there's too much going on for him to be purely focused on his golf right now. So I'd be very surprised if he did win. But 20 to 1 on him is always a very good bet. I think out of all the players you mentioned now, I think Cantley. I know he pulled out a few weeks ago.
Why did he pull out?
I'm not sure. If it was through injury, maybe not, but I don't think it was. I haven't seen anything reported on that. But the way Cantley was playing, he was definitely trending towards the win. He's been up there a lot recently. Again, I feel it's a course where you just need to be solid all week from Thursday to Sunday, and Cantley's one of the most solid players out there. It's a course I'd like Colin Morikawa at as well, but 18 to 1 or maybe 20s at some other places you can probably get. I don't think that's a great price on him, to be honest. I think he would have been a lot bigger price had he not won 2 weeks ago as well.
Yeah, I think in that range, I think I might bet Cantley as well. The annoying thing with Cantley is now that I've missed him, he did start the week at 25, maybe even higher than that, but definitely 25, and he's now best price 20. So, I feel like I've missed out possibly on Cantley. I'll probably end up betting on him anyway. But I think
he's one for in play, to be honest, because if obviously you don't know why he's taking that time off. So if it is injury, you obviously don't want to back him, and then suddenly that starts playing up and that type of thing. So I'd be waiting for that one in players. I still think you get a good price on him.
Yeah, agree. And now I'll have a look at the injury concerns before I bet him as well.
Webb's been playing well quietly as well.
And he played well at his last tournament as well at the WGC. Mm-hmm. But I just think 22 is a bit short.
It is short, but he's one of those players who generally is one of the best players in the world, even though the way he plays and his name probably isn't as good. I think he's a better player than Schauffele, in my opinion. I'd put him in that category under the elite players. Would you not agree he's a better player than Schauffele? I think he is.
No, it's just the way you pronounce Schauffele.
Oh, Schauffele, whatever it's called. Xander, we'll go with Xander.
Yeah, no, I think obviously he's won here before. When he did win, he was he putted unbelievably though. I can't remember someone putting.
Yeah,
as well
again,
as
no, I mean, that was he wasn't the same player he is now though. When he won, that was kind of his comeback because he obviously won the US Open and no one really kind of heard from him until he won here. So again, no, I think he's a different player now. And it's that sort of course where you almost want a Furyk, a Kuchar. You look at the players that won it, KJ Choi, Tim Clark, just people who find fairway, green, putt. And those players are the Morikawas, the Schauffele's, the Webbs of the world. And we're probably going to get on to him in a minute. Hovland as well, he's that kind of player that just kind of goes fairway, green. Not the greatest short game or putter in the world, but certainly he's been playing very well of late. And someone who just sort of consistently finds fairways and greens, it seems, when he's on it.
Yeah. So out of this range, if you had to order them, Thomas, well, for me, I'd go Thomas, Cantley, Morikawa, or would I go Simpson ahead of Morikawa? You can get a slightly better price on Webb than you can Morikawa.
I'd go Colin, to be honest.
Yeah, I'd probably go Colin. Colin, also, I was looking at the numbers for Colin. Colin's putter is so hot. Like, he's a bad putter, but when he putts well, he is a really good putter.
And when he putts well, he wins.
And when he putts well, he putts consistently well. It just gets hot for like the whole tournament. So at the PGA Championship, he putted unbelievably. WGC, he was top 10 for putting. He wasn't top in the field. But then at his other win as well, I think it was the Workday. Was it Workday?
Yeah.
Yeah, Workday. He was top for putting as well. So if you catch him on a hot putter,
I couldn't believe how bad his putting was. I thought he was like one of the best putters on tour because every time he wins, he holds everything.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. His putter gets so hot. Yeah. If you look on the strokes gained for each round, it's like losing strokes all in a row, and then there'll just be 4 gaining strokes all in a row, and that's when he wins. Yeah,
no, definitely. He's a very, very good player. And I think this course could suit him. I don't know if he's ever played it before. But yeah, I think he could go well. But I think Cantley for me, out of everyone in that price bracket, is the one this week. The way he was playing before he took that time off.
Yeah, I reckon Thomas is, over all of the issues that you spoke about. Well, I'm hoping anyway. Next range, I don't know how much detail we want to go over these players. You've mentioned Hovland, Finau. So Hovland 25s, best price. Finau 28s.
So you got to touch on Spieth. You got the renaissance of Jordan Spieth.
I'm so happy for Spieth. Then Hideki 33s, Hatton 35s. That's the range. We'll finish Hatton there. I personally, I wouldn't bet Spieth at 30s. I think in play recently as well, you can still get good. I think at the start of tournaments, people want to bet Spieth, but then in play, when maybe you get more of the
50 to 1 last week, and he started at 28.
Yeah, I think you can get Spieth on a good number in play. I don't think he's going to be someone who's going to be single figures, unless he's leading after the first round or maybe second round.
He was one behind going to the back nine last week, and he was, I think, 9 to 1. He's still getting him at that point. He's one behind, so yeah, it's one of those.
Yeah, I definitely wait for Spieth.
You just have to look at his price for the Masters, and just people like to bet on him. So bookies know they don't have to put him at a big price for people to back him.
Yeah, exactly. He's a very favourable for all of the, average, your standard better.
Coulthard.
The
Coulthards of the world.
Yeah. To be fair, no, I'm not putting any money on Spieth, but I'd never be unhappy if Spieth won. Hovland, do you want to say any more about him? I
just think the price has gone on Hovland now. He's a quality player. There's too many bogeys in there for me at the moment to win one of these big events. As soon as he cuts them mistakes out, or a week where he cuts them mistakes out, he'll win. There's absolutely no doubt. He birdies too much. But he almost feels like a very, very similar version of Rory, kind of just a younger version. Just a lot of good stuff, but too much bad stuff to win. every week at the moment. And as soon as he kind of cuts that out, he'll be winning regularly. I think he's won twice on tour, two smaller events at 25 to 1 when you can have Thomas or Morikawa at 20s. I think that's not a very good price this week for my T5 Tony at 28.
Yeah, I wouldn't bet Tony. He doesn't have a great record in Florida. Hovland, I think that his weekend
hasn't got a great record anywhere, is he?
Well, I mean, he gets top 10s every week apart from in Florida. So if we look at it that way, T5s,
might win.
Tony.
Might win then.
Hovland, I worry. He's so consistent that we don't really see bad rounds out of him that I worry about that the weekend that he had last week.
It was bad.
I think he's also playing like maybe his 5th event in a row or something like that. It feels like he's been playing every week.
He's played a lot of golf.
That wouldn't really worry me. But yeah, his weekend last week would worry me. So I'd leave Hovland, even though what I would like Hovland to have a shit week, maybe miss the cut, and then he'll be back at 30s. And
definitely.
And then I'll be betting on him again. Spieth in play. Matsuyama is 33 to 1. I mean, that's just a crazy price to me. He hasn't won for 4 years. I know so they did play one round last year before he got called off for COVID.
Yeah, he was leading.
And he was 9 under in that one round. So I don't know. That must be affecting the price quite a bit because.
Yeah, I'm not sure about that.
Yeah, I mean, he hasn't even contended. Like, all these players have contended. He hasn't even contended for 4 years. Like, McIlroy is at least sort of, contending.
The fact you can get Daniel Berger, Patrick Reed at 40s, and they've won in the last month or month and a half, I mean, just seems ridiculous. And bigger, smaller price than that.
Yeah, I'd definitely be leaving that price. Hatton, I think I'm going to bet at 35s. And I see you shaking your head, but let me explain. So last week he came around 20th. He was one of the worst putters in the field. I think he lost 6 strokes putting, and he has a good record on courses which sort of have a correlation. For example, the RBC Heritage, Wyndham, and other Pete Dye courses, which closely correlate with the players. So last week he was 3rd tee to green as well for the tournament, which is that's positive for me. And his form has been really solid. He obviously won the Abu Dhabi, then he's been around 20th, and then came 6th in Saudi. And it's just been one part of his game that's letting him down. At the WGC, it was his chipping. He lost loads of strokes chipping. Last week, it was his putting. And also last week, he just had 2 bad rounds. And I like the fact that I like the upside that he had with his 2. I think he was 11 under on Friday and Saturday. So I like that upside if you can just put it all together over the course of the week. So yeah, I really like Tyrrell this week, especially at 35. So I think he's the 6th ranked player in the world.
Is he?
7th ranked player in the world.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's won a lot. He's won a lot in the last year, Kev.
He's won a lot of big events in year. I just have a thing. I know he's won in America. I just have a thing about backing Europeans in America. Like Rahm's different. He's a quality player and he's basically American. Of course, I just think they don't win as often. Like it's a very different thing to winning Abu Dhabi. And I know Hatton has won. He is obviously a quality player. He's just won a lot of big European Tour events. It's not like he's won regularly on the PGA Tour. He's obviously one of the better Europeans. But I don't know. I don't back him to win a big event in America just yet, if I'm completely honest.
I think that's very naive, if I'm being honest, Kev.
No, it is. Yeah, absolutely. I don't disagree.
I guess, I mean, he's won the Arnold Palmer. He won the biggest event on the European Tour last year, the BMW.
Mickey Mouse Tour.
He's won, Turkish Airlines. He's won.
Yeah, but they're not but that's the same standard as just a normal, like a random PJ Tour event.
BMW is the same points won for winning as the Arnold Palmer.
Yeah, but it is winning the BMW. The quality of the field in there, I mean, it's not great. It's not like
the points won is
DJ
dependent on the quality of field.
Well, I'm not sure about that. You haven't got Bryson and DJ turning up and take them on.
He's third at the RBC Heritage, which is a good correlation course. He's come third in the WGC. He's come fifth at the Open, sixth at the Open, sixth at the US Open, fifth at the Tour Championship.
If Hassan wins, fair play. I mean, it's just person I'd back in play if he was up there. It's the last resort, but I wouldn't be backing.
One thing I'm looking at, which I'm not sure I like, is he's done well a lot of the same courses. He's won twice at Alfred Dunhill Links. He's come top 5 in the Open twice. He's won yeah, maybe not. Maybe that won't put me off. Yeah, no, I think Hatton at 35 is a good price. Anyway, 40. There's some good players still to go through. So Berger, Reed.
I don't like Patrick Reed, but he's a great price.
Yeah, Reed's just coming off a missed cut, as we said earlier, doesn't really faze me too much. I am worried the fact that if you have a look at the last 9 winners, they've all come in the top 22 in their previous event. So I think there's something going on there with the fact that you need to be on form in some sense of the word. Berger is also 41.
Well. One thing with Reed as well is that his tee to green, he's not very good. Usually. It's usually his putter that kind of wins him, and when he's on with a tee to green, it will tend to win. I'm not sure it's the sort of course that might suit him, but I still think 41 is quite big on him, the way he's been playing the last month.
Yeah, he's played well at similar sort of courses as well. He's won quite a few times in Florida, actually. He won the WGC in Florida. Let me have a look. But he's got a good record in Florida, which I think counts for something. And he's wins a lot. It feels like he wins a lot, and for him to be 40-1, feels like a big price on Patrick Reed. He's one of the best golfers in the world at the moment.
And he'll cheat to win, so that always helps.
Yeah, he'd be complaining about divot, wouldn't he?
Oh god.
Now we're coming into the best range here, Kev. 45s. Your man Fitzpatrick. My man Scotty Scheffler. Sanjay Im is also 45s, who started at around 55, so he's been bet quite a lot down to 45-1.
I like him for this.
Sanjay.
I think that's the sort of player you want. Solid. I think you just want solid this week. You don't want. I think there's a reason why a lot of the best players in the world haven't won it. They're not always the most solid player in the world. He's the best player. I think you want people who are just going to stick about all week.
I agree with you in the sense that you want a solid player, and the fact that the best players in the world haven't done so well. I think that's mainly because the best players in the world hit it the furthest, and distance isn't such a big factor this week. But if I'm looking at Sanjay's numbers, they're really not good for probably the 2 key categories, which is approach and around the green recently. His finishes have been decent, but his putting's been better than it normally is. So Sanjay's very popular. I'd probably be avoiding him though, just on that basis. Even though it would be the sort of player that you'd be looking to go to this week.
Cam Smith, Paul Casey, I like those. They're two good players who are solid.
I think there are loads of players.
They've been playing pretty well recently.
Yeah, I think there are loads of players in this sort of range. Day as well. surely you've got to mention Jason Day.
No,
I'm a
tough
bit.
to say, but I think he's I can't see him doing much anytime soon. If I'm honest, he doesn't. See, he looked when they came back, and I think it was a week before the Masters. I can't remember what event it was. He looked good. He looked like he was back, but I don't know. I think he just doesn't look the same player than what he used to be, unfortunately, which is a shame.
He's come. I mean, surprisingly, he must have had a shit last round last week because he was sort of up there, wasn't he?
No, I don't think so. Not from memory. Well, every time they went to him on a telly, he was 2-3 under, I'm pretty sure.
He finished 31st. But he's finished his last 3 finishes 7th, 18th, 31st. So, yeah, probably not yet. 45 to 1 seems a bit short as well.
Yeah.
We also have Fleetwood at 45s, Cam Smith, as you said, at 55s, Casey at 55s, Neiman at 55s. It's probably the last of the pairs that we should go through.
Fleetwood out of them for me.
Fleetwood at 45s, played well last week. Has played well here in his last 2 events. I think he's 5th and 7th in his last 2 events here. So clearly likes the course. And yeah, coming off probably his first. I mean, he had a bad last round last week, but probably his first really good performance and being in contention on a Sunday for a while. A lot of people like Casey this week. He's playing some unbelievable golf, Casey. I feel like I'm going to need to bet on Casey this week.
I feel it's his type of week. It's just solid player yet again. As I say it again, and there's a few more I just want to mention before we finish that I've just looked at in the betting. I think are quite good prices. Kevin Na, 100 to 1, and Harris English at 100 to 1 as well. Bet 365. Both of those very, very solid players, and will hang about all week. So yeah, I think this is one of the courses Kevin Na says he fancies as well.
Oh really?
I think so. It's one of the
course
6.
where he got the yips?
No. What, when he's in a bush and took 17 or something?
No, I swear he got the yips and he was leading in the last round here. Was it not?
Maybe. Could be right. I just picture him in a bush, hacking out a bush.
However, I agree with you on Na. I think he's won earlier on in the year. And it's that sort of player. I mean, there's a lot. I think if you're looking at some each way bets, there's a lot of value that could be had around in the 3 figures. I mean, Leishman's been playing better. Australians do pretty well here generally. Lanto Griffin's been playing pretty well, 125 to 1. Russell Henley's got some of the best approach play on tour. He's 100 to 1. Homer's been playing great. He's also 100 to 1. As you said, Westwood at the start, 80 to 1. I definitely think there's Garcia, 75s, Connors, 75s.
Back the field then, Tech.
No, I feel like the bookies could be having a lot of my money this week. So, Kev, give us 3 golfers who you'll be backing this week.
3 golfers will be backing this week. I mean, I think the first one is DJ. I think you have to back it at that price. I think it's just silly not to, because I guarantee you, if he birdies the first couple, which is more than possible around Sawgrass, birdie chances if he starts on the first. Straight away he could be into kind of 5-6 to 1 before you even get a chance to have a look at it. So no, it's definitely someone I've already backed, to be honest, from the off. So definitely DJ. I think Cantley as well. I think 20s is still a very, very fair price. And to give you a slightly bigger one, I would probably be, with the way he's been playing recently, I'd probably be backing Patrick Reed as well, if I'm honest. Even though I very much dislike him. I'm not sure the course is massively suited to him, but the way he's been playing, I think 41's a little bit too big for him when you look at some of the prices and some of the players around him.
Yeah. No, I think those are all good shouts, to be honest. I couldn't really say anything bad about putting on those bets. For me, there'd be Thomas, as I've already said, Hatton, and I mean, I'd probably go towards Reed or Cantley. So one of those two, or DJ, one of those three could easily.
One of my three that.
Well, I'm saying this is why we work well, Kev. That's why the Birdie Train works.
Wow. If you listened to me on Bryson last week, we'd have another winner, but there's one thing.
Maybe Casey. At 55s.
Any more players? Just ask for three.
Yeah, well, I've given you. I've listed my own three: Casey, Hatton, and Thomas. Are my three.
What players to avoid those?
It's not true. Okay. Thank you for listening. I think this is going to be out on YouTube. I'm going to try and put it on Spotify as well. So, yeah, if you listen to it on that, you won't have to go through the pain of seeing my uncut hair, which is for the best, really.
See my beautiful trim.
Yeah, beautiful, Kev. So, yeah, like it, subscribe, all the normal stuff. And, yeah, hopefully you have a good week.